It is a day that still, almost 60 years later, lives in infamy. December 7th, 1941, a surprise attack by Japan on the U.S. military base at Pearl Harbor. To remember that tragic and historic date and to honor the lives lost, there will be a special day of coverage from Pearl Harbor, hosted by Joan Lunden. And she joins me right now. Joan, nice to have you with us.
It's great to see you.
Great to see you again. You know, when you talk about Pearl Harbor, it's on the heels of September 11th. It's just a reminder that one moment like that can change the course of history.
It's so true. I mean, it was such a pivotal moment. It thrust us into World War II, and it also brought on the atomic age. And interestingly, I mean, a lot of people might have seen a 60th anniversary like this come and go and might not have paid much attention to it, but on the heels of September 11th, if you look at the two, here are the only two times we were ever attacked on our own land. There are a lot of similarities. People can't believe this happened right under our noses. These people were living right here with us. They were flying airplanes. Well, how about back during Pearl Harbor? The Japanese spies were right there in Honolulu. They were renting airplanes as tourists, going up, taking photographs, which were then sent back to Japan so that those fighter pilots could study them so that they'd know battleship row, exactly where they would come in, where they could drop the bombs to take out those air bases and then those ships, really before we had a chance to do anything. I mean, they sunk the Arizona, the absolute pride of our Navy, in 9 minutes.
You know, and there were some 21 ships involved, but the USS Arizona, of course, you know, becomes the symbol. And in your special, now this is live from Pearl Harbor, that will air a week from Friday.
All throughout the day.
You have you have interviews with a number of people that are there, survivors, and tell me a little bit more about
historians.
Yeah, and you also have some rare footage, as I understand, of the Arizona.
That's right, because the Arizona sank. Now, I don't know if you know, the waters in Honolulu are quite shallow, actually, 30 to 35 foot deep. And so now they've got, of course, the memorial built across the top of it. But back then, they had just filled the Arizona up with fuel. That's 1 million gallons of fuel. So it went down with that and with over 1,000 men on board.
And there's an
that were not retrieved. Well, the thing is corroding. I mean, yeah, 60 years later, this ship is corroding and it's leaking, they say, about 1 quart of oil a day over 60 years, but there's probably 500,000 gallons of oil left in it. So one of the shows on the History Channel that night at 8 o'clock at night will be Save Our History, the USS Arizona. The big controversial debate. Do we tamper with sacred ground? It's kind of like ground zero. I mean, all these people that were, it's like a tomb, it's a burial site, but at the same time, we can't just turn our head and possibly let an environmental disaster happen.
And this program obviously raises the awareness level. You are so busy, and you are doing so many different things. It's very exciting. We wanted to also surprise you for a minute.
What's
you know why?
Why?
Because a lot of people don't realize that you and I go back a long way.
Oh, yeah.
I want to surprise you, okay? Can we just roll this for a moment? Just for a second? Take a look at this.
Oh, my gosh.
We're determined to see a parade today and see the rain among...
Oh, how did you get your hands on that?
Ernie Anastos.
And remember this?
Yes, and there you are. Weren't we young?
I'm so embarrassed, my goodness.
I was having a rather bad hair day that day, wasn't I?
Joe, you introduced me to New York, and it was 1978.
That was that Farrah Fawcett thing, you know, like with the wind just came and kind of went like that.
They look great. Good luck on the special on December the 7th.
Thank you very much.
Joan Lunden, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Ernie.